you, if you're an NBA player in any capacity, what would you choose? Play in Rucker Park or Venice Beach? Listen, y'all leave y'all comments in the show notes, and we'll be sure to cover that on next week's show with more comments in regards to the opening tip and news around the NBA. Listen, y'all, we're going to take a quick time out. We're going to handle some dues, handle some bills. And on the other side, y'all, we got the trivia question of the day. And also, we got moving the chains. Don't knock yourself out. Y'all make sure y'all come on back with more of what you came here for. This is the Playbook Podcast, baby. What's happening, family? I told y'all to relax yourself. Relax yourself. Yo, relax yourself. All right? Y'all go ahead and relax yourself. We got more of the Playbook Podcast. It's your chill brother from another Mr. All About My Biz, and I'm just trying to handle my biz so I can take care of my future kids, y'all. So listen, man, I need y'all to follow the script, and y'all go to Spotify, go to Anchor, go to Google Podcasts, go to iHeartRadio, go to YouTube, type in the Playbook Podcast, Kyle Turner, where you can find all content from season 1 and 2, and even this episode as well, as we look to expand our horizons, or we're bringing a barbershop, y'all, and bringing it to your podcast, man. So listen, man, I'm ready to give you guys some different flavor to the trivia question of the day. Big time shout out to HBCU Nation, baby, as the trivia question of the day is brought to you by the Lincoln University Lions. And listen, y'all, we can't appreciate the present without going back and paying homage to the past. And without further ado, y'all, it's time for the trivia question of the day. All right, y'all, so the trivia question of the day is twofold today. How many Lincoln Lions have been drafted to the NFL, and what were the names of the players that were drafted to the NFL out of Lincoln University? I'm gonna let you guys sit, ponder, and marinate on that question of the trivia question of the day, and we'll be sure to give you the answer to the trivia question of the day right before we get into Stop Playing. So listen, y'all, NFL is back and roaring once again, and you already know what time it is, man. It's time for that part of the show where we move the chain. So last week we started our edition of the NFL Pick 6, where there are 6 games that I highlight that I'm looking forward to watching and seeing the results of each week. Now, last week, week 1, went 4-2. Solid start to the season. Wasn't too proud of the performance by the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers might want to pipe down just a tad bit, bro. Just saying. You're looking terrible out here. Gonna have to clean that up. But anyway, Rodgers and the Pack go down, and also the Baltimore Ravens went down to the Las Vegas Raiders in a overtime thriller where, it could have went either way. And I'm pretty sure John Gruden alluded to it with one of his quotes where he was like, I feel like a cat with 9 lives, where I feel like I was gone and then I came back and then I was gone again, then I came back. That's pretty much what that Monday Night Football game felt like. And Las Vegas was rocking. I mean, rocking for the Las Vegas Raiders. And man, Derek Carr put on a phenomenal performance in week 1. Let's see if he can use that momentum in week 2 as we go ahead and give you the pick 6 for week 2 around the NFL. All right, so I got a couple of games. Number 1 game, we got the Thursday night game between the New York Football Giants and the Washington Football Team. Washington Football Team, both teams coming off a loss in week 1. The Giants coming off a loss to the Denver Broncos. The Washington Football Team coming off a close loss to the Los Angeles Chargers. in week one. Had some injury news for the Washington football team as they lost their quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's going to be down for the next 8 weeks probably with a dislocated hip. So it looks like it's going to be Taylor Heineke going to get the start for the Washington football team on Thursday night. The New York Football Giants put up a dud at home against the Denver Broncos. And, when you bring in all these weapons in the all season, you're going to think that your offense is going to score a little bit more than what the New York Giants did in week one. Denver comes in and pretty much steamrolls the New York Giants easily at home. Daniel Jones had a solid outing in game one, threw for 267 yards and a touchdown score, 22 of 37. But the main thing that I got out of that Giants loss for the New York Giants, Saquon Barkley was not effective at all, whatsoever. 10 rushes, 26 yards. That's not going to help the New York Giants win games. And also, their defense giving up 420 yards of offense in week one, that ain't going to be good. The good thing about this game is the Washington football team, offensively wise, they don't have a lot of guys other than Terry McLaurin that are going to actually show up on offense. Now, Taylor Heineke could masterfully work the offense in their favor, but at the same time, if New York's giving up 420 yards to the Denver Broncos, who's to say that they can't give up a lot of yards against the Washington football team, even though they don't have the weapons that the Denver Broncos have? I initially went with the Giants to win this game, but I'm having second thoughts, and I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to go with the Washington football team to pull this out at home. And Chase Young and Montez Sweat are going to get after Daniel Jones and going to put pressure on the Giants' offensive line. And I like them to get it done at home. 23-17 over the New York Giants. Game number 2 I'm keeping an eye out on are my Chargers taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I'm not going to get too excited about this, but I am going to give credit where credit is due. Dak Prescott looked amazing in game number 1. Absolutely phenomenal. Coming off of injuries, coming off a catastrophic injury in regards to his ankle last season, and for him to put on that type of performance, the first ball game of the year against the defending NFL champions, going down to the wire, big time shout out to Dak Prescott getting it done for the Dallas Cowboys. But listen, what I also found out was that Ezekiel Elliott is expendable. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas went ahead and traded their running back right before the trade deadline. Defensively wise, the Dallas Cowboys still have a lot of work to do. The Chargers, they got the defense back and going. They got Bosa. They got Derwin James on that side of the ball. And listen, man, Dak Prescott is going to have his hands full in this matchup just like he did against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But the Buccaneers gave up a lot of yards to Dak Prescott in week 1. The Los Angeles Chargers, under new coach Brandon Staley, look like they're a little bit more sound defensively. They're not going to take as many chances as well. They're going to kind of stay at home, but they're still going to get after you aggression-wise. I can't go against my Chargers at home. I like Justin Herbert. I don't think the defensive line of the Dallas Cowboys can get after and put a lot of pressure on him. Expect Keenan Allen to have a good game, a big game, along with Mike Williams. And I like the Chargers at home, 27-24 over the Dallas Cowboys. Game number 3, I'm looking at the Steelers and the Raiders. Feels like some old school 1970s type of game. But this team's got a lot more pop offensively. For the Steelers, they're coming off overtime win over the Baltimore Ravens in Monday night. They're going to go across country to take on the Steelers that won it could have went either way type of game against the Buffalo Bills. They got it done on the road. Ben Roethlisberger and company, you know, they've been there, done that. They were undefeated last season until they, completely fell off the face of the earth at the end of the season. Went 11-0, started losing, and they pretty much lost all momentum that they had gained so far in the season last year. So Pittsburgh, the AFC North, they're going to have to make sure they keep a stranglehold on the North because, you got teams like the Bengals that might put up a little bit of a fight. You got the Browns coming off a debilitating loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, and I know Baker Mayfield was really livid after losing yet again to Patrick Mahomes after leading in the fourth quarter. And you got the Baltimore Ravens. So the AFC North, you're going to have to make sure you're winning ball games. And for the Steelers, I give them an edge because defensively wise, Baltimore, they're kind of going through a bit of a transition. They gave up a lot of yards to Derek Carr, but I don't see Pittsburgh allowing the same thing to Derek Carr this week. I like the Pittsburgh Steelers at home to get it done 28-24 over the Las Vegas Raiders. Sunday Night Football, we got the Chiefs taking on the Ravens. We got the AFC smashing off again. And with Baltimore, they're coming off the loss, as I aforementioned, against the Las Vegas Raiders. They're going to be at home. Baltimore's going to be rocking. Lamar Jackson still looking for a win against Patrick Mahomes. Just like Baker Mayfield, he's going to be extra amped and motivated to win this game. However, I can't discount Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs' defense we saw is very susceptible to the big play. For Baltimore, though, when you got Hollywood Brown, you might have a chance if Lamar Jackson has room to operate and throw the football. But defensively wise, you got to make sure that you're keeping Patrick Mahomes in check, and that's been a hard task for anybody in the NFL. It's hard for me to say this, but I like the Kansas City Chiefs on the road to spoil the home opener for the Baltimore Ravens. 28-21 KC. Got an eye on this game in particular as well. I got the Saints squaring off against the Panthers, and I'm interested to see what Jameis Winston does as an encore. Throughout his career, he's been Jekyll and Hyde. You've seen him be super high and then be super low, where he's thrown a lot of touchdowns and a lot of interceptions. Week 1 against the Packers, Jameis Winston was famous Jameis from Florida State, and Florida State probably could have used Jameis Winston so they wouldn't get knocked off by Jacksonville State. I'm sorry, Florida State. But y'all looking horrible out here in college football. But I'm just saying, you probably could have used Jameis Winston on Saturday night before he went and played on Sunday. I'm just saying. But Jameis Winston, the crazy stat line that I just can't get out of my head. 148 yards and 5 touchdowns. 148 yards and 5 touchdowns. Craziness. Absolute craziness against the Packers. Sam Darnold coming off a win against his former employer, the New York Jets. Darnold threw for 279 yards against the Jets. 24-35 had a touchdown score. Christian McCaffrey did it on the ground and through the air again. 21 carries for 98 yards, 9 receptions, 89 yards as well. So, the Panthers look like they possibly have the makeup of a team that's up and coming. Possibly. The Jets, they're going to be a rebuilding team for a good while as well. 381 yards of offense for the Carolina Panthers and only gave up 252 yards of offense. Now, it's the Jets. They're not the Saints. But I'm leaning. And I'm leaning. And this is going to be my upset special. The Carolina Panthers are going to get it done at home over the New Orleans Saints. 24-21. Last second field goal. Carolina improves to 2-0 in the NFC South in my upset special. And the last game of the week, I got the Lions taking on the